Hi everyone, welcome to Grow Your Groceries with Callie Kim. Now I know you're here because you want to save money on your grocery bill and grow a ton of veggies to put on the table to feed your family. Well, you have got to grow these two workhorses of the garden. They're power producers, you can put them in all kinds of recipes, easy to grow, quick to harvest. I'm talking cucumbers and squash today. So I'm going to show you exactly how to get them planted from seed indoors so you can pop them out in the garden as soon as the spring hits. At this point in the series, we're transitioning from vegetables that we've started indoors that need to grow a long time to those that need to grow a short time, like cucumbers and squash. Now, the key to starting cucumbers and squash seed indoors is don't start them too early. They grow super fast. They love warm soil, so you only need to start them about 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost date. Then you're going to plant them outdoors about 2 weeks after your last frost date because they love warm soil. They're warm weather vegetables. They thrive in 70 to 90 degree plus Fahrenheit weather. But you got to get them started now to give you a jump on it so you have vegetables to plant out in your garden when the weather's warm enough. And let me just show you how quickly these vegetables grow. It's pretty crazy. These little cucumbers are started just 10 days ago. Look how big they are already. These were started just about 3 weeks ago. Here's 6 weeks old zucchini plants. So you got to get them started, but not too soon because then they'll get root bound in their little containers and they'll get stunted and they'll die before it's time to get them planted outside. So first off, we're going to plant some cucumbers. You're going to absolutely love having cucumbers in your garden. One of our favorite garden snacks, either to use for pickles or just to eat fresh. And usually you can see how large the seeds are. Usually the larger seeds are the ones that grow the fastest, so just keep that in mind as you're planting your seeds. We're going to plant the Marketmore cucumber. This one's from my spring garden seed collection. Such a delicious slicing cucumber. We absolutely love it. And cucumbers are also really good when you slice them up, put them in your water to flavor your water so you don't have to drink all those sugary drinks. So I'm just putting 4 seeds here in my little cow pots. Now I really enjoy these little cow pots because they're very easily biodegradable and the roots grow right through the containers. So they're especially good for squash and cucumbers that don't like the roots disturbed because then when you take them outside, you can plant them right in the ground and the pot dissolves. So pretty darn cool. So I've got 4 seeds in here. I've got my seed starting mix already pre-moistened. I'm just going to poke the seeds down into the soil. And since these are a little bit larger seeds, you want to poke them down in a little bit further, maybe a 1/4 inch or so, cover them up, and add your tag. Next up are lemon cucumbers from my cucumber seed collection. These are such a gorgeous cucumber. They're yellow, shaped like lemons, taste like a regular cucumber, but super delicious for slicing. So cool. Now cucumbers are a vining vegetable. So when you plant them out in the garden, you're going to want to plant them on a trellis. They're great in containers for small spaces. They are a power producer, like I mentioned. You're going to have a ton of cucumbers in your garden. So many different types of cucumbers that you can plant. I've got 6 varieties in my cucumber seed collection. For a family of 4, you want to plant around 3 to 4 plants. But the cool thing about cucumbers is you can succession plant them, plant at intervals throughout the summer, new seeds every 3 to 4 weeks, and that way you keep the harvest in your garden grocery store coming all summer long. Next up is squash. And one reason why I'm teaching you how to plant cucumbers and squash together is because they have very similar growing conditions. You also start squash about 3 to 4 weeks before your last frost date. So just start them together. And you do want to plant them in larger pots when you start them out because they grow so fast and they quickly outgrow if you plant them in a smaller container. So first up, we're going to plant some Black Beauty zucchini from the Spring Garden Seed Collection. Can't ever have too much zucchini in your garden. Well, actually you can, but you'll give it away to your neighbors and friends, and it's always fun to have plenty around. So you can see here the seeds are also pretty big. So I'm only going to plant 2 in my little pots here and press them down in about 1 inch or so into the soil. The larger seeds you need to plant a little bit deeper. The cool thing about squash is there's so many uses in the garden. You can roast them, grill them, make relishes out of them, make zucchini boats, make them in breads and all types of things. Now we just planted zucchini, which is a summer squash. That's a thin-skinned squash that's meant to be eaten right away. The other type of squash that you can plant is winter squash. Now a lot of people think you grow winter squash in the winter, but you don't. You actually grow it in the summer. It's a warm weather vegetable as well. And the reason why it's called winter squash is because it has a thick outer skin and it stores very, very well over the winter. So winter squash, here we're planting, is a butternut squash. You can also grow spaghetti squash, acorn squash, and they'll preserve very well for 3 or 4 months over the winter. So I like to grow both in my garden. So I have lots of different variety, and there's 5 varieties in my squash seed collection, which you can grab for 20% off with the code GROWVEGGIES. And you also get a free pollinator flower seed collection with your purchase. So we've got our cucumbers planted, our squash planted. Don't forget the tags. And I'm using my DIY seed starting mix for this, which is nice and fine and will help your seeds germinate very quickly. You want to keep the top of your soil moist as your seeds are germinating. And we're going to pop these under grow lights for about 18 hours a day on, 6 hours a day off. And when the temperatures are between 65-ish and 90 degrees, your seeds are going to germinate in about 3 to 5 days. I'm telling you, these guys grow fast. You're going to absolutely love seeing them pop to the soil. It's just so much fun. You really need to grow these power producers in the garden. They're going to put plenty of food on your table all summer long. Now I've got a great resource for you in my book on raised bed gardening. It's a whole 3-page chart on different vegetables. It tells you which vegetable is a warm weather vegetable, cool weather vegetable, when you can start the seeds indoors, when you can plant them outside. It's packed full of information for you. You can grab this over at CallieKimGardeningHome.com, as well as your seed collections if you haven't grabbed yours yet. And this week I'm throwing in a free red flower seed collection, so you can bring in plenty of bees to pollinate your garden. Everything's 20% off right now with the code GROWVEGGIES, and that sale goes until Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. I want to hear from you in the comments below if after watching this video, you've decided to grow cucumbers and squash in your garden. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.